There is one advantage to open wheelers that most people from automation don't really exploit to its fullest, and that's the fact that the closer you are to the center of mass, the quicker you'll rotate. So here's a bit of a video I took that shows that if I'm spread out with my arms and legs that I'm rotating at a certain speed, but when I pull in, I go faster. And that rotational centrifugal force is applicable to cars too. So if you export an open wheeler, say like this one, you'll notice that the mesh, and this is actually where the weight is, does not really stick to the inside of the car, unless you go around and do it to a car like this and make it nice and tight. Now you may say, well, that can't give a whole lot of advantage. Let me show you this. So here I am at my top speed of 251 kilometers now, then hard right. And it stays under control because I designed this car basically from automation to have good handling characteristics. But what happens if we do that exact same thing except narrow up the body a bit? Well, this is what happens. 250 at top speed, hard right. Yep. Immediately there is a traction difference. So let's explore this a little bit by creating a new car from scratch, not this Lotus 47 knockoff type thing that I'm doing here, and have a bit of fun with it. See just how berserk it can get. Ignore these, we'll deal with them later. Now, to be honest, I did that experiment a long time ago. The only reason why I'm bringing it up now is because it really got pointed out to me when I saw twin turbos trying to actually compare an automation car to a BeamNG mod Formula 1 car. And that got me thinking, maybe I should show my workings. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna choose a really long and narrow car. And I think to find that, we're gonna have to go all the way down here. So the reason why I want a long and narrow car, which spreads out that center of mass, is so then I don't go spinning off in long corners. So here we go, we got a 3.02 meter long car with a 1.4 track width. So it's not the narrowest car, but it's a narrow long car, and that's what we want today. I don't know, is this long enough and narrow enough? It might be narrow enough, we'll see. We're gonna go with carbon fiber, monocoque carbon fiber. We're gonna keep this really light. Oh, it's on the front engine. Well, that's a problem. I could go with a mod body. I think I might. Oh, this new body is exceptionally narrow and quite long. Might go with that. Now the question is what sort of engine do we go with here? Do we go with the new, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna try to actually compete with twin turbos' car. So we're gonna go with a V6. I think the V6 is a 1.3 liter or something like that. A 1.6. And we're aiming for about 870. That's a lot. Oh boy. Well, let's give it a try. We're not gonna have any variable valveless, so we're gonna go with a 5-valve engine and a 1.6. There we go. We got it down to exactly a 1.6. Billet, lightweight titanium forged. This is gonna have to have just quality spans everywhere. But it is a Formula 1 car, so I don't feel quite so guilty. We're gonna give it a patented yellow race color. Lots of wrinkles. You know, like an old man. We're at 291 kilowatts. We need 649, so we're a little bit away. Well, it seems that I can only get up to 419 kilowatts, which is not as great as I'd like. So let's give our new Formula 1 engine a bit of a listen. Doesn't sound that great actually, if I'm honest. Quality spam. Literally, there's not a whole lot to be done here. Just lower the roof line, reduce the overhangs. The rest does not matter. Rear wheel drive. Is sequential or dual clutch? I don't know what they run. I'm gonna go for the lightest sequential though. Wow, this thing, it reckons I doubt it could go 904 kilometers now, so we're gonna bring that back down. But Jesus Christ, what have I done to make it think that it, like, oh boy. Electronic LSD, quality spam. Radials, semi-slicks, thick buoys, carbon fibrame, quality spam. Carbon ceramics, 1 pistons, carbon ceramics, 1 piston, quality spam. I think you get the idea. It reckons in its current state it'll do 434 kilometers an hour, which it won't do. I'm just getting my suspension set up. We also have a good speed here. It'll be about probably 87 before downforce will have to kick in. Now, let's start with the body. Paint it invisible, make the rest invisible. Here is our canvas now. Time for the master to go to work. And by master I mean I'm actually really bad at this. Hello? It seems like I'm back. Well, that took about 2 hours of my life away. So yeah, here's the car done. I wish that I had brought the nose to a tighter point, but I don't really have the 3D fixtures exactly that I want to be able to do that. And then also the rear end, what does the rear end of a Formula One car look like? Oh, do they have a single exhaust now? No, those are the exhausts there. Then what's the one in the middle? No idea. Now I remember why I did this piece. I did this piece to make this all join together better. Oh dear. So what I should really do is go and do a thing where you make the front wheel smaller. I'm not going to bother with that today. What I am going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm first of all going to edit the model, and this is going to take some time. Actually, what does Test Track reckon we can do in just BeamNG itself, in automation itself? A 147? I was kind of hoping for a little bit more than that. But I can tell you right now the issues we're going to have. This is going to touch the ground. This may or may not. These are just going to be aero dams. I just wanted them to look like actual Formula One modular wing sections. And this isn't going to create much downforce at all. Or they've stuffed up how the wing works and it goes all the way across the entire body. In fact, we actually might do another extra little bit. There we go. We now have a multi-element wing on the rear. And that'll also probably just work as an air dam with the way in which exporting over to BeamNG works. Now, I know it doesn't look exactly like a Formula One car, but that's what we're going with, because that's pretty much all I can figure out how to do without, like, I don't know, like, just using somebody else's model. Well, here we go. I told you that it would have wing problems. Let's have a look. Control T, look at that. Yep, that's the rear, that entire rear wing is propping up the car. All right. Let's now start editing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix up these wings. Now we're going to go over here to the debug, which is an option you can turn on menus. Go to node text and turn on names. And we're going to use this a lot. I know it's a mess, but this is required. So we're looking for wing 51. And to find this, we're going to open up the main car's J-beam. So this one right here, the baby Formula One car. Control F, wing 51. There we go. Okay, again, this is your width. This is how far forward it is, and this is the height. So we need to fix the height issue. And there we go. We've now got it tucked up quite a bit. Now I can't actually tell where it is. I think it's a little too high now. Let's change that. Oh, wait, hold on. This goes into the negatives. Oh, frick. That means my maths was wrong. So I should also mention that I'm looking for the ones here that are the same. So this one is my forward leading edge. This one's my forward leading edge. This one matches that. So that's also my forward leading edge, and that's my forward leading edge. So these are the ones I'm changing. Let's break out a calculator. There we go. Now it's where we can see it. So we still wanted to go a bit higher. There we go, and now just lines up with the actual thing itself. Okay, and then we've got a problem here with this dropping off. I don't know why it's dropping off or how to fix it though. Okay, I went in and I changed a whole bunch of details, specifically just the brake group, so a whole bunch of wings which were in that area. So hopefully that is now no longer an issue. And let's give it a bit of a try. Oh, this car looks like a mess. But we're going to see how this car handles to do it before and after. It seems that there is a downforce issue because it did pull to one side more than the other. So hard right at about 200 is fine. Hard left, because we don't know that downforce, I think that's causing an issue. So it'll spin going one way but not the other. This car is going to probably spin a whole lot then. Let's give it a little bit more of a try around. And we're only going to turn right for now. We're going to do something about that wing. Turning right, it's fairly good. Oh, and turning left is an issue. Oh, it's an issue and it won't stop, and around it goes. Well, this car is going to spin a lot. For now, we're actually going to go in and we're going to start making this car a whole lot narrower, and this is my process. So because the car is fairly symmetrized, we're going to go through and we're going to find these locations. So we're going to start with A56 for simplicity. It's right there, I can see it easily. Find A56. The first mention of it should be its location. So here we have our location. We're not going to take the minus symbol. We're going to take all of the number except for that. And then that, we'll go Control C on that. We'll put that here. We're going to go in here and we're going to just make it a little bit narrower. The width is the first number. We're going to change this to, say, a 5. And that changes both of them when I click this button. There we go. Control S. Control R, and now you can see that it's moved A56 inwards a bit, and it's done it to the other side as well. But we can go much further than that by the looks of it. Probably almost go double that. So we just copy the one that we put there and put that there, and then change this to, say, 3. There we go. That seems to line up where we want it to. Now we're going to do the same to A88. And then we're gonna hit Control R, and now A88 is also moved, and it's very in line with A56 here. Now what we're gonna do is just basically do that to the entire car. We're also gonna drop these down a little bit by the looks of it, because they are very high. A lower center of gravity is a happy center of gravity. So what you see here is these two crossed upon each other. I hope that my audio is a little bit better now. So what we did is we changed the negatives from this one and this one, whatever. So now, refresh. And you can see now that it creates a nice square, as opposed to being crossed over itself. This is something you will need to do if you're doing what I'm doing. So here we've gone over most of it. We've done a fairly decent job. You can actually make it a little bit narrower at the front, but you can see now that it fits a lot better to the actual body shape. And I should probably actually narrow in the rear as well. But now we'll give it a bit of a test. So this should spin out a lot easier now, considering that the weight is a lot more inbound. So yeah, that goes turning right. Now remember that left was a bit problematic. Oh god, this thing is a bit of a drift beast. Oh god, it doesn't want to stop going sideways. Oh, that's actually a problem. It doesn't want to stop going sideways. At first I thought that was cool, then I realized that it just the extent to how much it doesn't like to and it just wants to spin. There you go, and around it goes. It just So here is where we now started getting into the open wheeler territory. We have our width set correctly. But what we don't have set correctly now is our traction aids, all that sort of stuff. I have also seemingly somehow stuffed up BeamNG, so we're gonna have to quickly restart it. There it goes. Now we've got the wing on the other side falling off, so we're gonna have to change all of that to brake group 1. So, oh god, that looks so neat and tight in there. It looks so good. Let's go ahead and find these wings. So we're looking for wing 91. There we go, they're no longer colliding with each other. Let's give it a bit of a test drive now. Hopefully with the evened out downforce, this thing won't spin quite so much. Seems I was a little... Oh god, it spins so easily now. So before it spun easier, but now it's spinning a lot easier. Oh dear. This is not fantastic if I'm honest. Let's, hard left. Yep, still turns. And at least I can control the drift. Oh god. This thing, it handles so weird when it snaps to, and then like, there's a jolt in the middle. Which is a real problem. Oh god. Ah. Alright, let's ease on the power this time. And hard right. That's, yeah. Alright, let's try saving this drift. Bring it back. Oh, no. Okay, yep. Oh boy. Oh no. So, here comes the next part, and that is the variable wings. Now, if you were paying close attention when I was designing the car, I put in some invisible wings because I knew this sort of thing would be an issue. So we're going to move this wing and this wing with our wing angle modifier. Check out this video, link in the description for how to do that. We're just going to gloss over this. All right, it seems a little bit better. Now we can just go around and tweak this a little bit. So here we go. We have it on the automation test track, and we are going to give this thing a bit of a shakedown. And we're going to tweak the rear to front downforce and see where it wants to be. So currently I think we want a lot more on the rear because it just, oh, come on. So I already knew that the car was going to oversteer. That was actually something that automation told me. At about 86, if you remember. So now we're just going to have to finagle a little bit. So rear downforce, set it up 0.5 and see what that does. 0.5 is quite drastic though, by the way. That is quite a lot of extra downforce and a lot of extra drag. But already we're seeing more traction. Oh god, oh, we've gone. That's not fantastic. Oh god, stop it. Stop it! Stop! Alright, let's try that again, shall we? And see if we can't get a little bit of a nicer result. Oh, I also see that my wings are flailing a little bit. that could be due to, oh no. I think we need a lot more front downforce and a lot more rear downforce and a little less front downforce. Be nice to me. Yes, good. Braking is good. Turning is for, oh dear. I think we need a little less front downforce. Is this actually doing anything? It's not doing anything. Why is nothing happening? Oh, the front and rear are connected. God damn it. I'm such a numpty. See, that's why it's always good to debug things properly, so then you don't end up derping like I do. There we go. We have very little front front angle on that compared to the rear. Actually, you know what? We're going to bring the rear down quite a bit as well. That's really quite extreme. Okay, let's try that out. Okay, a lot of understeer. But is it helping us with our snap oversteer? Not really. We still have snap oversteer, which is an issue. Oh, drift! I might be able to control this with the steering wheel if I'm honest, but we're not ready to plug that up because there is a lot of debugging still to do in this car, and we'll deal with that a bit later. Ah! God damn it! Ah! It's so hard to control. I think we need more rear downforce. Scheisenhauer. Now I know that also Formula Ones run complete slicks, but we don't really have that option. Okay, coming down here, braking, getting into the corner, easing onto that accelerator so we're not scaring the car quite a lot, and much better. Now we have not done anything that actually breaks the spirit of automation's exporting of cars right now. So I feel pretty good. All we've done is added a little bit of adjustability to the wing so we don't have to keep going back and forth between automation and here, changing that one slider all the time, constantly back and forth. And instead, we just have a bit of a slider in BeamNG that we change, and we make the collision mesh, which is also the drag mesh and the weight mesh, make that line up properly. We are going to do something now which is very different, and that is to change the properties of the underwing. Now this wing will have the same drag effectiveness as these wings, but really, it shouldn't. It should actually be considerably less drag there, because it's an underside diffuser. Let's go ahead, turn these names on so we know which one it is. This is Wing S3, or is that 53? That's Wing 53. Okay, Wing 53, which is Wing 5. And we go down to the last mention of it, and here we have all of its extra details. So it has a drag coefficient, has a lift coefficient, and a stall angle. What we want to do here is reduce the drag coefficient of this particular wing. And we're probably going to, because it does the strakes underneath, do create a little bit of drag. We're not going to make it 0 because that's not really realistic. We're going to take it down to about 55. You know, actually, we could probably go down to 45. That'll do. Go back to here. Control R. Spawn back at home. Got our wing setting still. I really do like how this, conforms to this body. It looks so good when done right. Which that isn't done right. Those should actually be lower than this point. So that may be a project for a future thing. You can also see that I snuckily deleted the strut here. That's because realistically a Formula 1 car doesn't actually have springs here. And now I didn't want to go with push rod because I don't know how to model that correctly right. What it actually has is it has inside here a lever which goes into a torsion beam spring, which is something that's only ever available on the rear of cars, which is unfortunate, but not a whole lot you can do about that. So for now, we're just gonna give this a little bit more of a drive. Oh, the cockpit view, it's so good. But we're actually we are gonna change the cockpit view. We're now nice and snug within the cockpit area. Let's give it a bit of a drive. We're gonna use the controller to drive it first, and then we're gonna soon switch over to the steering wheel and see if we can control this absolute monstrosity of a vehicle. It doesn't have a ginormous amount of power, by the way. It's only 400 and something kilowatts. So it is problematic. I think we might just turn the downforce up quite a bit. We might actually do better to drop the front wing down as well. So we're looking for wing 150. And we're gonna go to the height and drop that down a little bit. Now, if I bring this wing down into the tire, does it collide? Oh, too far. Way too far. Okay, so it doesn't actually collide with the tires. That's fine. It's a little bit cheaty, but we're okay with that. Should have a about the same amount of downforce as we had before. Oh boy, oh boy. We're still getting snap oversteer. Something which I think can be fixed, but I think I want to see if I can control it with my steering wheel setup. And if we have to come back and try to fix this another day. So for now, we're going to switch over. All right, let's give it a try. Oh God, this thing, it feels fast as well. It's just a little hard to control. Oh, I think I need to turn force feed back up for this car. This one is problematic. Oh dear, I think we might also restart the game because the control doesn't seem to be working quite right. Now, I don't remember what settings I had, so we're just gonna have minus 0.25 on the front and plus 0.25 on the rear. See if that works. All right, oh, okay. Apparently we're just cheating now. That's a thing. Oh. Okay, around we go. I think I need to turn the audio up as well. Force feedback feels a lot better now, but I think I need to turn it up. Force feedback feels a whole lot better now. Much better, except I think I may even turn the force feedback up even further. Because this is not great. Okay. Okay. I think I am ready to do a proper lap around here. Now, I'm going to be pushing this thing a little bit harder than what I like to because it makes me look a bit of a fool. But just know that I can do a good lap. It's just I want to see how far I can push this thing on every single corner. I am a fool, and this is going to take forever. I am sorry, but let's go. Oh, God. I'm out of practice. Oh. Oh, I made it over. Oh.
Alright, you know what? Just ignore all of this. None of this ever happened. I'm getting warmed up. I have not actually properly seriously raced on this for a long time, but I finally did put down a very decent lap here. So I found that getting off the line was actually the trickiest thing, especially when changing gears. So I just floored the thing, dropping down 2 black lines down the start straight just to get it down there quite well. But getting onto the trot shot here, I always managed to dip onto the dirt for some reason. I don't know why, and that made me have to actually brake into Brian's Bend, which meant that going into this corner I was going a whole lot slower. But heading over here to what's technically called Cuswold's Carousel, I just call it the Cotswolds, it starts to really come into its own because exiting out of there was quite good at high speeds, all the way down to the slingshot. And we're going to find that top gear was actually kind of useless here. So we stayed in 5th gear at about 300 kilometers an hour. I did a few times try to go up into the upper gear, but it just hurt way too much. Going into here, into Bavarian Bend, was just a little bit tricky, but I did actually get it really good this time around. But getting out of here meant that I had so much speed, though with only weighing about, I think it was 700 kilos, I only had to brake at the 100 meter mark, which is pretty good with this amount of downforce and the fact that I was going there so fast. Now, heading around to here, Adam's apex was always a little bit tricky. So you see here that I'm aiming it straight as I come out of that previous bend called Pom's Pickle or something like that. It's really tricky, but then I always got caught here. So you're gonna see me like kind of nurse it through here because Cossacks is a real pain in the dick for this car. Lamps Hope, quite easy. I did get a little bit messed up, and you can see that I get messed up all the way down there, but at least I didn't hit the rumble strips, and then we cross.
Nice, 148. That is a car that makes me happy. I like it so much. I do want to return to this car one day, but for now I think we should just go ahead and face the fact that this thing is not going to get a good fill score, considering that it doesn't actually have what do you call it, headlights and such. So it's not really going to be a street legal car, which is unfortunate, but I don't think I'm actually going to give it a full score because that does make it a bit unfair. I love this car. This car is good. There will be a link to it in the description. And if you found this helpful, once again, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe. I'm so close to 1,000 now. Soon I'll be able to get monetized and then earn the pittance that YouTube thinks that my views are worth. Because, yeah, YouTube's not great at paying its people anymore. But I want to find out for myself and make more than what I think I have $4.60 or $4.20, I think, or something like that saved up previously. So I want to see how much better I'm doing now. But as this is the end of my video, I will instead say thank you very much and goodbye.